Hey VC, how's it going? Right, okay, yesterday I went to a record fair in Nottingham. I met Headley there, another fat bearded man talking about records. Now, my wife's away with our little boy for the weekend with her mum, so I've got a couple of days to myself. So what are you going to do apart from, you know, listen to music and go out and buy more records, you know? So that was it. So yeah, we had a good afternoon in Nottingham. And so we went to the record fair. Now, I must admit that, you know, when I actually got there, I wasn't really in the mood to be buying records. What happened the day before, I bought a lot of, you know, quite a chunk of Reggae 45s, minty Reggae 45s, which I'll show in another video. So what I should have been doing yesterday was listing stuff on eBay to pay for the 45s I bought the day before. But you know, what are you going to do? So with regards to the fair, I found it all a bit expensive. I thought the prices were top end. You know, all of the dealers there said that they would negotiate on price, but I must admit, when I saw some of the prices, I didn't even want to get involved. But there was a guy there who had a small box of dance records, and I picked these two records out. So first UK press of the Chemical Brothers Dig Your Own Hole, I think came out in '96, and the follow-up, their third album Surrender, which is my favourite Chemical Brothers album. I absolutely love this record. So yeah, so basically the guy that I bought these from, he basically said that a friend of his was is a house clearance guy. He'd cleared some of his house out and it was just full of dance music. He said his van was out front just full of dance music. He didn't know where any of it was, but he just picked out the names that he recognised. So he had a small box which was like the Chemical Brothers, Basement Jaxx, Fatboy Slim, you know, any sort of big names, you know. So yeah, what I wanted to do, of course, was go in his van and have a look, but he didn't have anybody to look after his store. I think otherwise he would have done. But both of these lovely first UK pressings, and I think what I realised, I spun these back to back this morning, and what I've come to realise that I think I take the Chemical Brothers for granted a little bit. I love all their music. I mean, you know, they seem to be ever present. They've been making music for 30 odd years, and I love all the stuff they put out, but I very rarely buy anything. Apart from that, I've got quite a few of their 90s 12 inches, but yeah, I was really pleased to find these LPs, and I'll perhaps get me on track for buying some of their other stuff. But yeah, I think what these records really highlight is just how good they are, how effective they are at collaborating with other artists. You know, there's a few tracks on both of these records where they collaborate with sort of indie artists such as Beth Orton. There's a couple with Noel Gallagher, of course. And also Out of Control with Bernard Sumner from New Order, and they all work so well. I mean, I think I've always got a bit of a soft spot for artists who are clearly music geeks themselves, you know, and the Chemical Brothers are certainly that. You know, I remember seeing a documentary about them, and they were talking about working with Q-Tip from a tribe called Quest. And they were basically saying about going to his studio and just seeing this wall of records. And they basically said, you know, any obscure prog album that you could think of, he basically had 3 copies of it. And they was just salivating over this stuff. So yeah, that just made me warm to them even more. But both of these records are fantastic. So particularly the collaborations. But yeah, they both really hit the spot. So I didn't actually take any footage of the fair itself, but we did go to a couple of record shops afterwards, and I did take some footage of one of the shops. Now, this shop's called Rob's Records. It's got to be seen to be believed, because it's just so jam full of stuff that you can only get 2 or 3 people in there at a time. I mean, yeah, I'll perhaps show some footage now.
From coast to coast, the sound of now, Loud Jaw.
so we went in there, and to be fair, Headley did find a couple of things straight away. Well, fair play to him, because it's just so hard to look at the stuff. Everything's just piled up everywhere. Now, you know, I caused a situation which can only be described as an avalanche of records, where I pulled one record out and everything moved, which you know, I should imagine pretty dangerous in that shot, but there you go. But, you know, very cool. The guy's lovely, actually, and I did pick one thing up from him. It's a 45 of Lockjaw by Tommy and the Upsetters on Trojan. I think this track is on one of the Tighten Up compilations. I think it's on the third one. Somebody will correct me, but I think that's where I first heard it. But a great bit of skinhead reggae, and that's what I played over the footage of the shop there. But, you know, very cool. He did have a plastic bag which had some reggae 45s. There was a Joe Gibbs 45 in there, which is worth a fair few quid. It's a good £500 record. But you'll see in the video that it was pretty badly warped. I tried to get him to sell it to me cheap so I could flatten it, but he was having none of it. But there you go. But yeah, I was pleased to find that. Lovely condition at a good price. We then went to another record shop just around the corner I think it's called The Hidden Gem. And I was really pleased to find this record. This is African Rebel by Tony Benjamin and the Sane Inmates. Now, this is a reggae album from the early 80s, and it's significant because it's one of the first records to come out on the Ariwa label. I think there's only a couple of hundred copies pressed. I think that's the case anyway. Somebody will correct me again, you know. But yeah, a lovely record. And what's great about it is that in parts, it's very roots reggae. The opening track is a big roots reggae tune, but then it falls into a lovers rock track. So you've got this mix of styles. So I suppose it really does appeal to both, you know, fans of lovers rock and roots reggae. But yeah, fantastic reggae record, produced by the Mad Professor, of course. And I think the rhythms from this album are available on a Mad Professor album, which I don't have, but I'll certainly be seeking out now. But got this at a really good price. It's quite a scarce thing. The vinyl is VG Plus. The sleeve obviously got a fair bit of wear there. You know, I think it's only sort of a good sleeve, but yeah, I'll take that for the money that I paid for it, definitely. So, as I say, I bought quite a lot of records in the week. I'll perhaps do a separate video on those. Lots of minty reggae 45s, and I mean minty. I'm talking reggae records that have been played once or twice. That's it, you know. So yeah, so that's my next video. So cheers.